Hi, I'm NASA astronaut Tracy Dyson. Along with my crewmates, we're living and working 250 miles above Earth on the International Space Station. And today we're going to be talking about chemistry with a special guest. Let's go. Before we get going up here on station, let's hear from our guest back on Earth. Maynard, we're glad to have you with us today.
Hey Tracy, the pleasure is absolutely all mine, and I'm so excited to be working with you. My name is Maynard Okereke, also known as the Hip Hop MD, and I love talking and teaching about STEM-related topics. You astronauts living in space can do things during a normal day that would take superpowers to do back here on Earth. But even with superpowers, you still have to take care of the basics. For example, it's still very important to take care of your dental hygiene. So things like brushing your teeth are just as important on the International Space Station as they are when you're right here at home.
That's right, Maynard. But can you help us tell our audience how keeping your teeth clean is related to the subject of chemical reactions?
Oh, of course, I'd be happy to. You see, a chemical reaction is a process where different chemicals interact in a way that causes the smallest parts to rearrange, forming new substances that can look and behave very differently than the original chemicals. The outcome of the process depends on the properties of the elements or compounds in the reaction. Some chemical reactions can turn two things that would hurt you on their own, like sodium and chlorine, into something safe to eat, like salt. Other chemical reactions are very energetic and can even explode.
You can see chemical reactions happening around you every day. Have you ever seen an old metal fence? The rust on the fence is an example of a chemical reaction called oxidation. Oxidation happens when iron is exposed to oxygen in the presence of water. These reactions take place all over, not just on Earth. Did you know oxidation is why Mars has its red color? That's right, Mars is rusted. When you light the candles on your birthday cake, that's a kind of chemical reaction too. You know that flame you blow out when you make a wish? Well, that's fuel, heat, and oxygen coming together in a chemical reaction called combustion. We do studies on combustion here on the space station. In space, fire takes on a different shape because of the lack of gravity. Instead of forming the kind of teardrop shape that you're used to, a flame in space is round, like a ball.
Chemical reactions are typically displayed as an equation, with the left side being called reactants, or literally the things that are reacting with each other. The right side of the equation is known as the product, the thing being produced from the reaction. You can normally identify a chemical reaction by observing the changes that occur when the chemicals meet. You might see a change in color. There could be fizzing or bubbles. You might even see light being produced, or smoke, and maybe even feel a change in temperature.
Water can undergo chemical reactions that we're very interested in here at NASA. As part of Artemis and other missions, we can take the water, or H2O, that we find in places like the Moon or Mars and break it apart into its H's, or hydrogen, and its O's, oxygen. We can use the oxygen we produce to breathe and the hydrogen to make fuel for our rockets.
Here on Earth, we rely on chemical reactions to make many of the everyday things we use, like medicine, plastics, and even birthday cakes. We also rely on these reactions to clean things, even things that help with our dental hygiene, such as retainers. Like many of you, some astronauts wear retainers, which they also have to keep clean on a regular basis. Now, you might wonder how exactly a cleaning process like that would actually work in space. Well, luckily I know someone who has the right materials, and more importantly, the right location to show you.
So I'm on the space station, and like many folks, I have a retainer. And also like many folks, probably like you, I don't always wear it every night. But when I do wear it every night, when I should, it gets a little dirty. And so on Earth, normally I would wake up in the morning and I would take this retainer and I would put it in a glass on my bathroom counter, and I would put a small cleaning tablet, just like this, into the glass and let it sit there, and it would clean while I'm doing things during the day. Then at night, I would rinse this off and then use my retainer again at night. But up here, gravity doesn't keep water in a glass. And so, the boring way to do it is to put water from, for example, this drink bag into the Ziploc bag and close the Ziploc bag and then put the tablet in here. But we're in space and bubbles of water are fun. So what if we didn't have to put it in a glass? What if we just made a bubble of water and then put the tablet into the water and we could watch it bubble in the water, the bubble, and then try to slide the retainer into the bubble of water. So we're going to start the tube down. We want this ball of water to stay right here, so we're going to make it a little bit bigger. And remember, I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to come up with a little bit of velocity and then quickly take that off. There we go. The tablet's in. The blue ball is growing with this effervescent tablet. I think it's kind of fun that you can come along with me with this. Oh, there it goes. Look at that. Check that out. It's just absorbing onto the retainer. That's pretty slick. And so now that little effervescent tablet is dissolving into and making these little gas bubbles. And the water is kind of, through surface tension, made its way around the retainer. But this is a much more fun way to clean your retainer than to put it in a bag, put some water in there, seal it.
Now that was a cool way to show a chemical reaction. I am so happy and super hyped I got to hang out with all of you today and talk some chemistry. Looking forward to seeing y'all soon.
We're happy to have you, Maynard. This was just a simple example to show how one type of chemical reaction can have the power to get things clean. But just think about how many other chemical reactions we observe daily without really noticing them. Make some observations today. Can you find other chemical reactions around your home, even in nature, or maybe happening inside your own body? Chemical reactions are a great way to put the scientific method into action as you make observation, try new combinations, and change environmental conditions to see what new results you can get. Just remember to always be safe and to always perform your experiments with an adult supervision and permission. I hope this gave you a better idea of how astronauts keep up with our normal daily routines. It might be easier for you at home, but the science behind it is the thing. Thanks for joining us here on the space station. We'll see you next time, and don't forget to take good care of your smile.